Welcome to Failing for You, where I'll fail so you don't have to, or even better yet, so you can too. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Failing for You. I'm your host, Jordan Yates, and today we have another very special guest. Everybody, please welcome the Allie G. Allie, introduce yourself, girl.
Hi everyone. I'm extremely excited to be here. I really like Jordan's show. I started a engineering company a couple years ago, and it has been a wild ride, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today with Jordan. And that's kind of me. I, in high school, thought that I really loved science and math, and so I was like, I'm gonna do. Actually, it ended up being chemistry that I thought I loved the most, which
Oh,
ended
interesting.
ended up being not true. But I didn't know, so I was like, I love chemistry. I will be a
Yeah.
chemical engineer, and that is what I
Oh
did.
gosh. Oh gosh, that's so hard. That is so hard. I can't even imagine. Like I think I had to take one chemistry class and that was enough
People
for
are not
me.
a huge fan of those.
Yeah, it was just like it was a lot of memorization and I'm not good at memorizing. So I don't know. That was overwhelming. But guys, today we have a lot of fun questions. So I got a lot of buzz around like announcing that Ali was going to be on and we have somebody who wrote in some really good questions
Oh
and to the point where it's like I'm only going to ask you a few of my questions
yeah.
because I love his questions so much and he's been checking in like, hey, when's the episode coming out? Like, what was her
Oh.
answer to this question? Like, I have to know. And guys, like, we make this, like I said, it's in the title, Failing for You. We're here for you. So if you're writing in and you want to know something about like who we're bringing on or about me, we take your writing in seriously. And that's why we're going to be asking these questions today.
Jordan's a bad
So
boy.
before I give like your basically your resume of what you do, he suggested a few icebreakers. So
Okay.
thanks, Ed. The first icebreaker is who has the best swag hats?
Well, the reason why I believe that mine are the best is that I have the ear flaps. Hold on, let me demonstrate for you.
Yeah, let me see. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's just on like a baseball hat?
Can you even handle that level of cool on my head right now?
Wow. Guys, if you are listening in podcast version, Allie's wearing what seems to be a baseball cap. And then she took her headphones off. She reached the top, and what I heard was Velcro. She undid it from the top, and two flaps came down on each
That is what
side to cover
happens.
her ears, came down, and it Velcros under her chin. So it kind of looks like, what is that, to go under a
It's definitely
safety hat?
for a colder environment. So, but if
Okay,
you
that
need
too.
to fix it, you can make that happen.
So wait, Ali, these are obviously for your company, but like, where do you make the like? Where do you get these made? Like, how does
Oh,
that work?
so
These are so cool.
there is a
Uh
hatworld.com
huh.
where you can basically like and actually we're gonna make automation ladies hats like this, but basically like this
Ooh.
this logo needs to be um within their specs. So
Okay.
some of the issues that can happen, and it's happened to me, it's like I've had it where my logo is too complex and they want to
Mm-hmm.
make it less pixely. So they're like, well, can we
Yeah.
delete some of these lines and then make it so that we can print it?
Ali has the best swag hats of her own. She gets them made at hatworld.com. Next, I don't know why this is an icebreaker. This feels like this would be a serious question. But Ali, I guess they don't know that you went to high school in Hawaii, but they asked, how did you manage to find two internships in Hawaii? I guess that would be something related to probably the fact that you lived there before, but they want to know, how did you manage to find those internships?
That's a really good question. And I don't remember, but let's give you the best that I can remember about it. Now,
Okay.
this guy who was my boss, he had a analytical chemistry lab. So
What?
he had stuff in his lab that people don't really have in their labs. So he could test different kinds of water quality. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that might be like one of the ways, like if you were in a remote island or something, that would be how you would kind of get that kind of technology in your, like in within your reach would be to work on like water quality stuff. So,
Yeah.
but what he had something that I had never seen, and it was a micro segmented flow analyzer.
The
That
teeny weeny baby pipes that you talked
blew
about
my
last time.
mind. It blew my mind. So the reason why is because this guy has this like machine, right?
Uh-huh.
But he hadn't used it in all the ways that he wanted. But what was neat about it was just like the different chemistries going on inside of one different machine. So it was like, oh
Uh-huh.
my god, you can test all these different things in this tiny. It's like an assay tester. They called it assays, right? An assay
Mm-hmm.
is, in a lab, you think assay, and you're like, okay, so there's like multiple samples, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do like different things to the samples, and then come up with a report that said like when we do this, this happens, and when we do whatever, and yeah, so I started getting these like assay tests for some of these machines that he had, and I just felt like on top of the world just because like there was
Yeah.
troubleshooting was its own thing, and that was my first troubleshooting ever.
Was this
Was
your first internship or
Yeah,
your
it was my
second one?
first
Okay.
internship and
Yeah.
my first time that I ever. He was like, I don't know, figure it out, because like
Mm-hmm.
the needle would get stuck, or the
Uh-huh.
needle would move and then it would get stuck while it moved. Because this was still a robot. Like it
Uh-huh.
had a needle that would do dilutions or micro dilutions, but it had to know, it had to be able to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the different, like, because there's multiple test tubes. So it was so much like a robot. And I never even bothered, like, connecting the dots because I was just like, whatever. And
Yeah.
so I was doing this from a long time ago that I had no idea that I was doing this. And it was like since 2000. I graduated high school in 2006. So 2007, 8, 9, I was able to get like jobs like this where they were like, I don't know, she sounds pretty smart.
Yeah.
um,
Because they were like chemical engineer is was there a lot of competition for jobs in Hawaii? Like I don't know like
no,
which like how
no.
many people are there. It seems like it's a
Oh,
small
I'll,
populated
I'll say
place.
this. Chemical engineering is not a major that you can get in Hawaii, period.
Okay.
So if
Wow.
you wanted that, you'd have to leave and be like, I'm coming back. And then they'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
to what?
So to answer your question, Ed, that's how she got it. She was from there and the talent pool was
I knew,
non-existent, so she
yeah,
created one.
I knew the guy because he lived in my town, and
Uh-huh.
there was no one else. There was no one else who was like, I want to test water quality stuff. They're like, I don't give a
Supply and demand, people. Supply and demand. If you want a
Yes.
really cool job, go somewhere where they're just like
Or give
isn't
them sweet
people.
jobs that they don't
Yeah.
understand how sweet they are.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand.
That's so fun. Okay, so now we're going to exit from the icebreakers and enter into the actual interview, if you will. So I'm going to ask a few of my own questions. I hope that is okay. Not to you, I was talking to Ed. No, just kidding. So my first question would be, Allie, you are the owner and director of engineering for your company. Can you tell us when your company started and kind of what your company does? And then we'll go
Yes.
from there. I don't want to ask you too many questions at once. So, when
Okay.
did your company start and like what is your company? What does it do?
So I have two official start dates because I created the company before I actually had the cojones to actually run it. So
Mhm.
when I first started my company, it was a what if the world ends? What if,
Mhm.
what if, lots of what ifs. Lots of what ifs that were related to like, um, what is it called? When you're, like conspiracy theory type.
Yeah, like
Oh,
into the
maybe
world
this,
people's.
maybe that, maybe this. Like I don't know. So I was just like I
Uh-huh.
was scared in a lot of different
Doomsdayers.
ways. Yeah, it was really doomsday, and I was like, am I gonna have a job?
Mm-hmm.
And so like part of this like discussion with myself included how I felt about this type of work, and I went for it, and
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. So today, like what I do, I mean, it's still engineering. So I sell engineering services to the end, not the end user. So like you
Okay.
may buy cookies, right? But I sell my services to cookie factories,
Mm-hmm.
or I sell my services to. It doesn't really matter. Like they make anything, but I don't sell to the end user. So
Yeah.
I do not create. I help companies create end products, but I don't create end products. And
Do you work
my
with more MROs or OEMs?
OEMs.
Okay, and guys, OEM is an original equipment manufacturer. I feel like a lot of our listener base would know that, but in case you're like my mom and you're listening, hi mom, love you. An OEM is an original equipment manufacturer, and that means that like they're the ones who build the machines and they sell those machines
Or
to
the
places
hardware.
like the cookie makers, yeah, and then the cookie makers use those machines to make cookies. Those are usually the MROs, and then people sell the cookies to the stores. They're on, and then the end user would be the
Distributors.
person eating the cookie. Yeah. So
Which is
I'm
fine.
the
Like I
person
said,
currently. Yeah, I come full circle. I've been on both ends, and I continue to consume the cookies. I
I
love the
love to eat the
example.
cookies, but I
Yeah.
love to be part of making the cookies. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So like what kinds of services are you selling? So you do like panel building or integration? Like can you explain what the
So
sort
the
of
major
main bread and
services that
butter?
I am making money off of are actually the service industry. So
Mm-hmm.
SCADA, once it's created, you still need to support that for years to come. You may need
Yeah.
to add points or add screens or add. There's so many things you could add to your SCADA that exists. So,
Mm-hmm.
or just more points to monitor.
Yeah.
So your SCADA system isn't done when you first build it, because you
Yeah.
need to keep like at least some kind of staff that can edit the screens or your historian content, because like what you
Mm-hmm.
want is to be able to look back at any data you've ever collected and then make decisions about that, and you can make
Yeah.
really smart decisions about that, because you're just like, every spring we break this thing because the temperature whatever. There's so many things that we can decide um, based off of really smart data, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're trying. That's the whole point of Industry 4.0.
Yeah.
So can we make a decision here that's going to benefit all of us and cost all of us less money? And
We
that's what we
love
do.
database decisions.
Yes, data driven. Yes.
Yes, data driven is the vibe these days. So, okay, Ali, you started your business. It's still relatively fresh in terms of, year over year. What would you say on the business side is been your greatest challenge so far and something you might have overcome and some advice you could give? So, on the theme of failing for you, there's so many things we could talk about where failure occurs, but we also like to hear about how you came back from that failure, and I think it would be interested to hear like in relation to your business or, whatever you feel most passionate talking about.
So the biggest for the type of business that I have, which is a sole proprietor LLC,
Mhm.
and other people have this type of business, and the biggest thing about this business is that um, the solutions aren't. There's such a huge like variation in the solutions,
Yeah.
and
No,
and
just
then
manual for all of it.
yeah, it's not all manual, and so like picking who's gonna help you becomes a challenge,
Mhm.
and you know some of this work is just not. You don't have to be like reinventing the wheel,
Mhm.
and some of us try to do that because we're scared of various things, but
Yeah.
in general I want to say that like I don't know, lots of people have the same drive to try to fix some of these same problems. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know, there's lots of options for who can help you do
So
things.
so you've struggled with like finding good team members to help you like execute your projects, is what you're saying?
Well,
Or
for me,
employees, if you will.
it's hard to find out customers that understand like the struggles. So you
Mm-hmm.
can find people that will learn how to do PLC programming or learn how to do SCADA, and then the customer is like, "Well, I bought all these, hardware. Why aren't you done programming them?" And it's like, "Well,
Yeah.
these aren't the same as all the other ones that you have us program."
Yeah,
So
it's not cut
we
like
have to
copy and
like
paste.
we have to fight with them a little bit to try to explain that like everything isn't copy paste like they think, which a
Mm-hmm.
lot of our customers do believe that most of our work is just like copy paste, and it isn't. And then they get angry because we can't copy paste, and actually we get angry ourselves because we go to Rockwell and we're like, why can't I copy paste this?
We're all mad.
Yeah.
And Rockwell says, "That'll be $1,000. Thank you for chatting today."
It's not wrong, it's a way to make money, but
Oh, yeah.
it's also
I wish people paid that much to talk to me on the phone for an hour.
word.
But yeah, that sounds like that is frustrating because I think, which something you guys brought up. So I was just listening to Ali on another podcast before recording this, and something they said there's like this big sort of miscommunication or lack of communication between the manufacturing world and the people within it and the people outside of it. So all of this stuff seems like such a mystery, and so that's why sometimes they have these notions like, oh, it's just that easy because they really don't know and they don't have the experience. And then it becomes like, whose fault is it that they don't know? But at the end of the day, it's your business and you're the one stuck explaining that to them. And that sounds like that could be frustrating.
Oh yeah.
But on the flip side, how cool is it that you own a business and that you are in a position where you're educating people no matter how hard it is to educate them sometimes? But what's been like the highlight of being in that space of like getting to teach these people how things really work?
The absolute coolest thing about this entire endeavor is that there are people who come up and they're like, "You make me feel like I can try something."
Yeah.
That shit makes me so happy. No one really gave me that, and I wanted that, and like to be able to give that to other people that I don't even try to give it to
Mm-hmm.
just makes my death worth it. It's like I just feel like now I can die and people will be like, she wasn't worthless, and I that's so messed up to think in that way, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of
But
us
it's
just want
valid.
like a lot of us want to make a difference, and that's kind of what that is just like, did you make a difference, and can you measure that difference? And sometimes you can, because all you did was just empower somebody else to have some guts that they didn't have before. And
Yeah.
a lot of us that just need like a little bit of guts because they have it already. They're just like, I know what I want. I know what I want to do. I just need a little bit of people to pretend like this is normal for me to ask, which it's not.
Yeah.
But it is, because that it's almost, you should look at it as like the American way.
Yeah.
So if you are crazy and you ask these things that people think you're crazy for, like maybe that just means you're American, and don't think that you're crazy, because you're not crazy. You're just an entrepreneur, and you're just thinking ahead of other people, and other people are going to be like, you don't need to do that, and in their lives you don't, but in your life you do. So don't listen to them.
Do you feel like you have the power to be more creative in your problem solving, being the owner and like the
Oh
final
yeah.
sayer on these projects?
Yes.
That's so cool.
I I
Someone today
I
was
need to
like,
make decisions that otherwise, like,
be questionable.
yeah, I would be like, well, my customer wants this, so I can't really say anything. And I do
Mm-hmm.
feel that about certain things, but most of the time, like, my customer is just like, can you just make us money? Because, like, at this point, I just want money.
Yeah, yeah. We're trying to not die in the economy. So Allie's there to
We do have a
help.
weird economy right now, and that's what everyone is really scared of. Is how do you protect yourself from this current economy? And part of that is just um, having a passion for your job, but appreciating your job for what it brings. Because maybe you
Yeah.
don't care about what that job even does, and other people are going to express that to their boss, and then they're going to get work that you're not going to get because you
Yeah.
don't show that initiative slash interest in something.
Before you were in the position where you felt like you had to start your own company, did you ever, like, coming out of college or even like younger, think that you wanted to run your own company? Was that ever something exciting?
Hell no, no. What I wanted was to live in my corner in the quietness, and I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved it. I was like, because I'm an engineer. I'm like, can you just tell me what to do, and I swear to God, I'll shut up.
Yeah.
And that's not how it worked. But that's how I wanted it. I wanted silence. I wanted um, not a big deal because like I don't want to be
Mhm.
like, oh my God, everyone, let's have a hand of applause for whoever, right?
Yeah.
That drives me crazy and makes me want to die because I don't want to deal with that kind of like, it's almost social stress. And I
Yeah.
think that that's like a thing that engineers don't like. Um, Granted, people always try to celebrate me, and I appreciate them for loving me in the first place. Um, One of my favorite things, I was once given like an award for like best laugh, and I thought that was really nice because they were
That's
like,
so cute.
"You laugh so funny that can we just give you an award for laughing
Yeah.
the best," which is super arbitrary, right? It's
Yeah.
like
No, but it's
what does that
amazing.
even mean in the first place? But
Put
I
that
was
on your
so
resume.
happy. Yeah, I was really happy. I was like, well, people want to give me a like best laugh like award, and so I felt like I don't know that kind of stuff is like meaningful to people, and I think that everyone should try to do that with their group. It's like give these weird prizes out. I don't mean give everybody a consolation
Participation
prize.
sticker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying give everybody like a prize for existing, but like
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that you can celebrate about the people you work with that can make
Mhm.
it into a fun thing, and you're still not like commemorating people for not doing anything.
Yeah, no, I
So
get that cuz
like
like
let it
it
go because there's fun to have, and like it creates a camaraderie.
for sure. And I relate a lot to what you were saying at the beginning of not think you'd ever start your own business, because for me personally, I really like my full-time job. I love, one, that it's remote, two, that I'm basically left alone if I want to be, and then I can reach out and collaborate with people when I feel like it. But there's something just so beautiful about just getting to do things on your own time in your own way, and to have to branch out from that to the full on business owner of you're having to find clients, you're having to do the like the
It's scary.
just like the accounting side,
Oh
the
yeah.
legal side, and all of that, like that is a lot. And like recently I started like a side business related to like the podcasting, content creation, and all of that, and I've even felt overwhelmed just in the space of like getting my LLC going and all of that. But I don't see myself doing that full time because I can't let go of the stability of my day job. And honestly, I love my day job. Like, I love being a marketing engineer. I get so much out of it. It's very fulfilling. And I can't imagine, just being in the position I'm in now of making that full leap. So I think you're so brave and awesome for doing it and so far succeeding at it. So good for
It also
you.
speaks for your job because
Mhm.
whoever's designing your job or like kind of being the boss of your job is doing a really good job, and if they can keep doing that with everybody else, then like I mean they need to sell that recipe because that is what people want. People want to be felt, people want to feel like they are appreciated. I
Yeah.
never wanted to work in a job where they're just like, I don't like Allie, and Allie just wants to do with her own shit.
Mhm.
It was like I really want to do what Allie's doing because like it sounds like she really passionately wants to help the whole
Yeah.
team, go to level 2 or 3 or whatever, and I mean that's where we're at. It's just like there's what are we missing? I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because like I don't fully understand it because I literally one day was like I need to write a book called The Peter Method. Peter's my boss and I'm like how he channels my cuz like for me I'm very ADHD and I have a lot of thoughts and I have a lot of like good ideas, but I have a hard time taking all my creativity and like engineering nonsense and making an end product that's like usable and digestible. But my boss is so good at reeling it in, giving me direction and making me feel so purposeful and useful with
That's
what to me is normally
wonderful.
so chaotic. Anyways, my like I was saying, our director is very like cares about how we are as people and there's something just so intangible about that. And last week I had Mark
Oh yeah.
Levine on and he is at Thermosystems and he talks about their company culture, their company goals for the year and like their year goals were like wellness and things that were like self-care and like we want you to be cared for as a human. And it's just so cool seeing that like this is a thing that matters to people now. All right. Anyways, so Allie, we're getting back to the questions from the audience. These questions are labeled more serious. Now, I don't want to say keep your answers concise, but we do have 5 questions to get through and they are
Okay.
loaded. So think about what you want to say and give us the good answers.
Got it.
So, Allie, when you are designing a new process line from scratch, do you personally work more on the hardware side or the software side?
I got a question like that from the bank guy the other day.
Uh
He
huh.
said, "I can't do my job unless I'm an expert at both." And he went, and I was like, that's the truth. And
Yeah.
so there, I can't have a preference, even though I actually do prefer the hardware side.
Mm hmm.
But I have to be really good at the software side, and the software side's available immediately, especially.
That is
Um,
nice. You don't have to wait on like lead times. What a gorgeous thing. I never
no,
thought of
no, I
that.
mean you do, because like you can't make it come any quicker, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like your hardware and your software, um, yeah, you can't wait for someone to like show you one or the other. You do need to just be ready to battle either one,
Mm
and
hmm.
that is something that I pride myself in. Is just I love hardware. I'm really good at hardware, but I fight software,
Mm
and
hmm.
that's just the way it has to be. I can't
Yeah.
just have it easy, and I know that, and I'm not trying to pretend any other way. So, um, I love both, but
So she
I
does it all.
I do it all, but I live in a hardware balanced world, and then I just get
Mm hmm.
ready to do the software.
When
So
it when need
that's the
be.
toughest shit. Yeah, it's the software.
Yeah, it's so hard because like for me, when something is physically broken, I can fix it so quickly. But when I'm like scanning through lines of code, I'm just like,
Yeah,
what is
that
going
is facts.
on?
Agreed.
Okay, next question. This one's interesting to me because this is a question I would ask. Do you find it easier to work with a client that has no technical knowledge, just knows what the final product should be, or a client with general technical knowledge but limited process knowledge that is more hands on in design? I could repeat
Well,
parts of that
does
if you need. That was
anyone
a big question.
actually enjoy someone messing with their stuff? No.
If they do, I don't trust them.
So you're not gonna, unless you like, unless you're working with a customer that they designed something that you've never worked on,
Mm-hmm.
the likelihood of you being super stoked that they're going to decide everything is really low. But that
Yeah.
doesn't matter, because you're gonna do whatever your customer wants, because you're gonna make money
Yeah.
no matter
Whatever they're
what.
paying you to
And
do, you
that's the
just
way it works.
adapt.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you do have to have that adaptability, but you're not going to be happy that they have a lot of opinions that you're not going to agree with, and you
Yeah.
can't even stop them. You're just going to have to be like, I guess we'll check when we check it next. But you
It's like
can't even stop them. You
when
can't
you
even
get ready
stop
for
them.
dinner and you walk out
Yeah.
in your outfit and then someone's like, is that what you're gonna wear? Hmm. And you're like, okay, cool, gonna go
Well, I
change.
was, and now
I
I'm
was
not
I
gonna do
was
it.
gonna wear that. No, yeah, exactly. So in the ideal world, they just tell you what to do and you do your thing, and then when you're done, you say, here you go, give me all of your money. But Ed, unfortunately, that's not the world we live in.
Yeah,
Insert
because they
sad
come
face
back to you
emoji.
and they're like, why didn't you tell me to do something else? And
Yeah.
you're like, because you were so dead set on this really stupid thing. But that's also part of your problem. So you do need to fight your own customers on things they want because they're going to blame you later for buying it, even though you told them not to. So
Yeah.
you do need to like worry about that and like worry about where is that blame going to go later, and you need to get ahead of it because it's coming. It's coming,
Have you
guys.
ever lost a customer due to telling them, like, this plan's not going to work, here's my idea, and they just reject it and are like, we'll go with someone
I
else?
haven't yet.
Wow, that's pretty
They're so
good.
desperate. No, I'm just kidding. They want like to believe me and that I'm going to stick with them, and like it would be very difficult if they abandoned me and then asked someone else to stick with them, but it could
Yeah.
happen.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that would make me really nervous, is like having to deal with that constant thought. But okay, here is the next the next question. This one's a little simpler. What is your favorite part of your job? Design phase, construction phase, or sign off phase? If there's another phase, let us know. But these are the options he gave.
Oh man, I am super stoked about construction phase. It's my
Okay.
favorite. Commissioning. It's when all the crazy stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the most exciting part of that, and it's also the one that tests your rigor, if you
Yeah.
want to call it that. So, so that construction is messed up. Commissioning,
I'll,
construction, hard.
that's the most concise answer I think you've ever given. Edward's questions are so good that he's speaking to your soul. He knows what to ask.
That's fun.
Okay. Oh, okay. I forgot about this. So he answered the question himself. He said, personally, I like them all, but find sign off phase most gratifying. Something about seeing my design actually working and making someone's life easier. Smiley face, dot, dot, dot.
So that's the what is it called? If you get to the end and you do it right, that's the glory you're gonna have. Is that
Yeah.
like my process or your machine, whatever, is working and I don't have to be there, and that is huge. Just for your own personal satisfaction. It's
Yeah,
absolutely going
absolutely.
to be something that you cherish, and no one can take that from you, man, female, whatever. No one can take away that that machine is running because you made it run, regardless of your gender or race. That actually, I think, is something to sell to people that are like, do you want to do something crazy?
Yeah.
Because I love doing crazy stuff, and like, this is the crazy stuff I like to do. Do you want to join me?
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, I do.
See, I struggle with that because for me, I think that whenever I'm solving problems, which I personally love to do, or I'm building something or starting a project, I really struggle to show my plan to other people because to me, when I have an end goal in mind, I know I'm going to figure it out. I know I'll find a way, but getting there is so freaking messy. And although it makes sense to me, it never makes sense to anybody else. And all my DIY projects around the house just drive whoever I'm living with crazy at the time. And they're like, please, like what are you doing? And I'm like, I can't explain. You'll see when it's done. And so for you to have to basically be like a project manager and relaying every step along the way, that stresses me out so much. And the fact that people like you exist that can do that is very impressive to me because I'm telling you, I don't know what's wrong with my brain, but I'm a very inductive style thinker. So I see the end goal and then the steps that happen that I need, they come to me as I get it. I'm not very deductive where I know like step 1, 2, 3, and like it's weird. It's weird to think that not everybody has the very chaotic brain I do, and that you have these crazy ideas, but you can relay them to people. So that's just my long-winded way of saying I'm impressed with you. I'm impressed with people who do things like you. And guys, if you have a crazy idea, find a good way to pitch it and then do it and then make it work. Or else it's just going to be crazy.
Make it work, because if you can't make that part work, you're screwed.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Or else you just might seem like you're absolutely mad. But okay, so I did ask you already how you started your own company, but moving to the next portion of this question, I think that this is an interesting question that he asked, which is how do you find your contracts and your clients? I've actually wondered this too. Like, do you get many requests from LinkedIn? Because, guys, if you don't know, if you're listening to my podcast, you know who Allie is. Allie has like a ridiculous amount of followers on LinkedIn, like 45,000 plus, like insane. So I'm curious, like, do you get leads from LinkedIn, or how do you find customers and contracts?
I
Okay.
do get leads from LinkedIn, and I'm getting more and more of those as I
Okay.
grow like my brand. But just like most people that you meet, and most people will tell you this, that like your first several customers are people who knew your work somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 10 years of being out there and trying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are 10 years worth of people, especially because I move jobs a
Yeah.
lot more than is normally advised. And
But
so
it's common
because
in this industry, I've noticed.
it's
People do.
also common in our age group. We're over
Yeah.
it. We're like, give
Not a
me,
vibe. Bye.
yeah, give me job opportunity, not, I don't know, the other way around. And
Mm-hmm.
so like, there's a lot of kids or people that like have what they think that they should be doing, and that's a good thing. But um, at the end of the day, no one is ever going to be able to just delete word of mouth. Word of mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and that you've heard that from like people from 40 years ago, where like word of mouth works really good.
Yeah.
It's still the best. It's still the best way to get anything.
Yeah.
So your customers have worked with you. Have they seen what you can do by yourself? Have you even like expressed that as something that's possible? Because they may be like, "Oh my god, I would love to just have you come work here," but they didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah.
So, did you tell the people around you that know you that you're even available for that kind of work? And
Uh-huh.
then the other thing is just, have you ever been available for that kind of work? Try it,
Interesting.
see what happens. So,
Yeah.
but word of mouth is not something that you're just like, "Oh, I'm so good at marketing that I don't even use word of mouth."
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Like, I use word of mouth is where all my money comes from, because
Mm-hmm.
somebody else told somebody that I knew that I was worth something, and it's gonna be really tough for you to just like fake that out in the world. So you do need people to
Absolutely.
just like say what the truth is, and they're like, "I work with that girl, or I work with this guy, and when I did, this is what happened. So you should do it too, because it's not that bad." That's literally what we're doing out here. Word of mouth
Yeah.
is massive, and yes, there's tons of opportunity that you could create from LinkedIn, but that person still has to believe that you're not a liar. Like, what if I'm
Yeah.
just faking all of this ability? That's why there's less of that and a lot more of the people who are just like, "I believe you. Just give me,
Mm-hmm.
I heard from word of mouth, so I'd like a quote." Those those end up better because those people believe you.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not just like cautiously following you online for a while and curious, like, does this girl that wears all these hats actually do these panel things? I don't know. But I feel like the posts that you make about your home office are so hard to fake. Like, you have the most insane contraptions going on and panels wired up in PLCs and HMIs, and you always have something going on. If you were able to fake that, I would be so much more impressed than if you actually
People
were doing
still really believe that I
it.
faked that, because there can be some guy like behind the scenes who's like, giving me all the answers, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
can just be like, I don't know, posting this crap with someone else telling me what to do, and like, uh, it's really funny if you know me personally to
Yeah.
think that there's like a guy here showing me how to do this, because
He's locked in the
I don't
basement.
really
You
work
just
like
let him
that.
out.
Right, I don't work like that. Like, people don't tell me what to do, and I don't take it that well. So
Uh-huh.
it would be
Yeah.
super funny if any of that was true, because they would have to fight me so hard. So
Mm-hmm.
believe what you want, and I'll keep trying to prove one way or another what I'm doing, but I don't really care, because it's just like this. There is no one telling me what to do, and I am not scared either way.
Absolutely. Yeah. So on that note, I actually wasn't going to ask this, but I'm feeling compelled right now. Do you do you feel that since starting your own business that anyone has ever doubted your ability due to the fact that you are a woman and that you're an engineer? Do they ever look at you like, I wonder if she can do it? Because I don't see a lot of women that are running engineering companies. Like, that's kind of weird. Red flag. Like, I haven't seen that before. Like, how many times are you the first woman running a company like this that they come across? Like, is that something where you've seen like reasonable doubt because they're not used to
So,
it?
most of these guys, I am like the first time they've ever seen this, but most of them don't care.
Yeah.
I've actually found, sadly, that the only person who's ever just like made a weird comment related to this was my own dad. So outside
Mm-hmm.
of that, the men that I've encountered are like, when are we starting? I don't have time. I don't have time to
Yeah.
worry about your gender because that's so stupid. Can we
Mm-hmm.
start tomorrow to do the thing that I need? So
Mm-hmm.
gender, mostly like, especially to the people that are like issuing the contracts,
Absolutely.
I have not found that they just don't even find it willing to spend 2 minutes being like stupid about it. That's
Yeah.
a stupid question, and it makes you sound stupid when you start talking about that kind of stuff. Like, tell me as a woman how you. Shut up. What are you gonna do?
If
How
you
are
get
you
your
gonna solve the
period,
problem?
will you be able to?
Nobody does that anymore. They're just like, okay, well, what's the problem? What are we doing? How much do I have to pay you? How fast can I get you to do this if I pay you this?
Yeah. And
That's
I
what we're doing. And
I only
that's what I want.
ask I only ask not to be like the cliche, oh, you're a
You
woman engineer,
should
so I have to
ask.
ask that. But the reason I ask is because, like I said, the theme is failing for you. So I want, if we have any, girls out there listening that are in the technical space that have this worry or concern that when they go out there that they may be like discredited due to being a woman. That's why I ask your experience, because sometimes the fear is so much more daunting than the actual situation itself. Because, like you said, half the time they want someone to get it done. If you say you can get it done and you have like history of getting shit done, they're most likely gonna be like, okay, cool, yeah, like, what's your parts availability like? What's your schedule? Like, can you fix my problem? So, girlies that are in engineering listening, don't let that deter you from starting or putting yourself out there. Don't let the fear of failure stop you from even trying at all, or else, like, what are you gonna do? Just sit there and worry? No, Allie's
That's
living
how I
proof
felt.
that it's not that bad. Yeah. How
No,
did you get past that? Was it just supply and demand? Like, you just realized you had to just start?
I don't know. That is, yeah. I think it is supply and demand because you just kept getting issues where, at some point, there is no one else, and they're gonna ask you to walk out there, and you're gonna solve it, and then you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh shit. So that's when you gain this confidence that you're gonna gain no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're gonna start fixing things and you're just gonna be like, I think I have to fix more things. And so you're just like become this force, and you're even learning about yourself as you do this because people are like,
Yeah.
I saw her and she did that and now I want her to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you get all these people be like, hey, what's your name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashley, come here. Like, and Ashley gets called over, and you're like, Ashley, what did you do last time? And all of a sudden, people are listening to you, where normally they're like, well, girls are, they don't know things. It's like, I saw Ashley fix it last time, and they seriously,
Street
I swear to
cred
God,
is real.
yes, street cred is massive in our industry, and there's
Mm-hmm.
no way around it. You go out
Yeah.
there and you fix stuff, and then they're like, you're in trouble now because everyone knows you can fix this. So good luck, girl. Good luck. And like,
Yeah.
it's a wonderful world for all of us if you want to be out there fixing shit.
Yeah, honestly, I think the thing I've been discriminated most for is actually just my age, because they're like, you're young, you don't know anything. And it was usually true because I'm like, yeah, I've never seen this before. But luckily, I had like companies I worked for where I'm like, I have this really old guy at the office who's been doing this 100 years. I'll give him a call. So like, if you're afraid of being discredited for being young, make sure that like you actually have the credit to be making these promises. And if not, surround yourself with people who are knowledgeable and can help you get it done. Like, have a good team if you don't have the experience yourself yet. Luckily, like Ali said, she had 10 years of experience going in. She had the word of mouth built. So she didn't necessarily have to like find a way to compensate for that. But if you are really young starting and you don't have experience, just recognize that and then find a way to deal with it.
And
And
build it.
yeah,
I feel
exactly.
that.
Like you have to start somewhere. Don't let that be a reason to stop you, but also don't be super arrogant and think like, "Oh, I can do anything." Like they're just saying it's cuz I'm
You
young. Like,
can't.
yeah,
Wait to learn
experience
from them.
matters.
Yeah.
For sure. So just have good resources and people you can depend on that you're not afraid to sound dumb to and ask those questions too. But yeah, that was the end of all of the questions that I had ready. Ali, is there anything that is on your heart that you just feel compelled to say to the listeners? But also, guys, like I completely forgot to mention, Ali has her own podcast as well, where she's a co-host on Automation Ladies with Nikki Gonzalez, who I absolutely love and will be a guest when our schedules align. So if you liked listening to her here, she is also there, just about every single week. So listen to Automation Ladies, but back to my question, Ali, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, I appreciate everyone who listens to my podcast, but also Jordan's podcast, because you're helping us, and what we're trying to do is not nothing,
Yeah.
and it's hard, and so just anyone giving us like the street cred to continue, we appreciate you a lot, and we're gonna keep doing this, and God bless.
God bless America, everybody.
No, that is like definitely America, because I think about that a lot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I couldn't do any of this, most of this, without the country backing me up.
Yeah.
So me having my bank accounts, my everything's mine, and
Yeah.
the only one who can break it for me is me, and that's really amazing.
It's
Because
such a
no one
beautiful
else
concept.
can come in and just be like, I don't like this. I'm gonna break your business. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna break my own business, or no one's gonna break my business.
Yeah.
And that is just, I swear to God, I feel like that's the American dream.
That is so cool. And I love to see that you're living it and that you're somebody who has a platform who can talk about these things between your podcast, between LinkedIn, and that you are just such a positive influence for, I would say for women, but really for everybody. Like, yes, you're a woman and you're out there championing women, but you also champion everyone. Like, you were just the biggest supporter just out there. Like, guys,
Humanity.
yeah, Ali is championing. I can't say
It's my mom.
championing.
It's my mom. Like, my mom raised me like this.
Your mom is so cute. I
Wasn't
love her.
shown. My dad definitely didn't show me this. My mom was the one
Yeah.
that was just like, everyone has something to contribute. Like, are you even listening?
Mm-hmm. If you feel like you lack the self-confidence or motivation or anything, guys, literally follow Ali on LinkedIn and you'll get your daily dopamine hit of Ali and a fun hat with her panel and sometimes cat photos. So her cat is her best employee. Absolutely. So guys, that is all we have for today. I'm going to link Ali's socials below. That way you can find her, connect with her, listen to her and Nikki on their podcast as well. But that is all I have for today. Thank you all so much for listening. I'm your host, Jordan Yates, and in the meantime, I'll be failing for you. See you next week.